Oh boy, where do I start? I've been doing Star Trek Picard reviews on my channel, and I think I got to episode 3, and that kind of finishes the pilot for Star Trek Picard, and watched episode 4, and was getting ready to do my review on 4, and then, because I've been doing them about one episode behind. And I've been kind of, moderately okay in the show. It's moderately entertaining, but I still withheld my opinion that modern Star Trek is really not Star Trek. It really doesn't hold the ideals of Star Trek. But Christ on a cracker, holy fuck. Episode 5 is just a shit fest. And I'm done reviewing it. I'll watch it. I don't expect it to get any better. In a way, this is almost worse than Discovery, because at least Discovery was a prequel and it was about characters we never had before. But what this show does is it really disrespects the entire Star Trek universe. I mean, Star Trek in all its iterations has always been about positivity, about striving to be better than we are. And when I watched as a kid, it was, I used to come home and you'd have Captain Kirk, waxing philosophical about how he's human, but he's not going to kill today. He doesn't kill the Gorn on Cestus 3 because they were protecting themselves. He lets them go. Something you wouldn't see in a 60s show. Captain Picard later on held up the ideals. He was even more of an elder statesman and took that to level. But we had optimism. We strived. It's not that we were those things, but we enjoyed watching those shows because it took us away from all our problems about what was going on in the world, and it showed a better part of humanity that might get better. But this new Star Trek is all about dystopian vision. It wants to be Battlestar Galactica mixed with Westworld with Star Trek sprinkled in. And they figure the more Easter eggs they can put in and mention Quark and things that happen in past shows, well, that's good enough for them. They won't mind that everybody now is murdering everybody. In episode 4 of the show, we get a new character who's kind of a Lord of the Rings clone, Elrond, this Romulan that comes from a sect of Romulan nuns that are great warriors, beheading a Romulan senator that Picard talks to on the planet that has a good, point. And Picard comes in and does something Picard would never do. He knows there's angst going on the planet. He purposely goes into a bar that the Romulans are all at to kind of chastise these Romulan characters. He rips down the sign that says Romulans only, and he goes in knowing that it's going to cause a fight. And it's only because they want to bring in this Elrond dude who's going to go all Lord of the Rings on this guy's ass and behead him. That's the only reason Picard would do this. He would never do it for any other reason. It's bad and sloppy writing. And in this episode 5, we starts off with 7 of 9, who's come back from Voyager at the end of last episode, spoiler. Now we get this scene showing, why she's a ranger, like on Babylon 5. She's this badass ranger. And because the kid who was on Voyager, Ichab, who used to be a Borg like she was, he became a Starfleet officer. And they have this scene straight out of Saw with eyeballs being ripped out and guts being taken out. And then she ends up mercy killing him. Like, the guy was injured, but man, we've seen worse on Star Trek. And they managed to save him before, but nah, kill me. And she kills him. She fucking kills him. And then we move from that to this kind of heist, funny masquerade, down the planet, Picard dressing up as a pirate. At the end of all that, and then we get this melodrama with the other chick that's the first officer, the drug addict in the Star Trek universe, going back to see her son that we could give two shits about in the middle of that. And then we shift to the end, and then, after all this, there's one good scene in the episode, at the end of the episode, where 7 and 9 and Picard are talking about the humanity, and did Picard ever get all his humanity back after being a Borg in the series like she was? He said, no, but I'm working on it every day. That was a hopeful scene. That was a positive scene, but it doesn't save the mediocrity that came before it. And then she says, well, I'm just going to go down, I'm going to get a ride, but can I grab 2 phasers? I need 2 phasers because I need to protect myself. And then she goes down and kills this chick and everybody that's down the planet for revenge for killing her Borg adopted son. And it's alluded to that they had some sort of relationship, whereas 7 and 9 never remotely ever showed any of that type of stuff before. But they monkey around with it. If they came out and said, okay, she had a lesbian relationship with somebody, hey, that's great, fine and dandy, hooray for her. But they kind of be coy about it because they want to look like they're being edgy. And that's what this whole show is about. I mean, it wants to take what's going on in the world and just, bring it to Star Trek. Now, Star Trek did that in the past, but they did that by having us go out and meet these societies that had all these screwed up problems. And, the Federation was always above all that, and they helped these societies overcome their issues. They didn't say, we suck, we're isolationists, we're racists, we're all this stuff, we're above all that. But not anymore. And it's just a drag to watch. It's not fun to watch. None of the characters in the show are remotely interesting, other than there's the captain of the ship, Rios. He's pretty interesting. I like to see a show about him. But Picard is played as like a doddering old fool. Everybody's protecting Picard. Get under a couch if there's a battle going on. It's just ridiculous. There's so many tropes for I love The Expanse, great show. I love Westworld, great show. But they've stolen all these shows' tropes and just rolled them into this, and it's one meandering clusterfuck to the next. It makes no sense, and it's going nowhere. So we're 5 episodes into this stuff, and it's just a disaster. Even Discovery, which isn't a great show, at least, I don't know. It's just, this is an utter disaster. I mean, I'll keep on watching it, but to me, modern Star Trek is just junk. I mean, compared to what's come before it. We had 4 series of varying degrees, but they were all pretty decent in their own right. Even Voyager, which I wasn't a huge fan of, they did some good episodes, and it kept the Star Trek ideals alive. This stuff is just utter lowbrow junk. And I hate to say it, but it is. And I had to kind of vent after watching episode 5 of Picard. I'm not going to be reviewing them anymore. I might, review 4 or 5. I'll come on with these videos after I've watched a few, and I'll probably be venting about it. But really disappointing. I mean, the JJ movies were kind of entertaining, but after the first one were just crap. The last one wasn't bad, but by then the damage was done already to the Star Trek franchise, and no one went to see it. And, I wouldn't pay for this stuff, and, it's just not worth it. I mean, wait till it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray and then watch it if you want to do that. But, I wouldn't pay any monthly fee for it. They just don't care. They just took, I said this before. The franchise now has taken the bare bones of Star Trek, but it has no soul. They've hung it all on the bare bones of the framework of Star Trek, but the show itself has no soul. It doesn't inspire anybody to watch it. It's not well written. It has great effects and fairly well acted, but it's just utter tripe. And it pains me to say that because I'm a huge Star Trek fan. We'll support it. There's $600 of Star Trek. So if you don't like modern Star Trek, then there's that to watch. If you do love it, well, then fine, watch it. But it's unfortunately, it's not Star Trek to me anymore. So just thought I'd come on here and vent a little bit about Star Trek Picard. So have a good evening, everybody. Catch you later.